Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, 9 p.m. Brazil time, and it is time for class. Tonight, we're going to go over part 2 of the 2% English is more distant if you believe this. So it's another idea that is a huge mistake that actually more people make than you might think. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Renata. I'm an English teacher. I have been one for the past 15 years. And I've never lived abroad. I'm here to help you take your English from okay. I can handle my everyday things, but I need more. I want to reach the English that only 2% of Brazilians speak. I need to speak English at work. I need to open doors, to any professional challenge. If that's what you need, you are in the right place. Welcome aboard. Please hit the like button to invite more people in. The more people we can help with our live lesson, the better, isn't it? For our country, for our education, for everybody. Welcome, Suelen, Letícia, Igor, Raíssa. Familiar faces here. See, hi, Leila, good evening. And let's welcome my dear partner, MC, all the way from Canada. She is back in Canada after a while here in Brazil with us. There she is.
Good evening, partner. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you see I'm wearing a turtleneck?
You are, and I'm in Canada. How is that?
Yeah, summer in BH, I mean spring in BH is not that warm. Once the rain settles in, which was the case today, a rainy day, thank God. So it's pretty, pretty cool here for us.
And I heard that it's been raining for a while now.
Yes, hopefully. And I mean, thank God. Fortunately, it's been raining for a couple of days now. So welcome, hi Fernando, Renata, Simone, Vá, everybody. Hit the like button for us. Give us a hand to invite more people in. So if you are here, let us know in the comments. Were you here last week? Did you watch part 1? Yes, thumbs up. No, thumbs down. I wasn't here. I'm just watching this lesson and I missed last week. If you did, no problem. You can find the class on our feed. But tonight we're going to carry on with that idea. We didn't have time. We got carried away, with all the things we had to say last week. And then we ended up not really talking about the second idea. So just to refresh everybody's memory, MC, the first idea, that we mentioned, right, last class, we talked about, the exact sentence was, I just need to improve my communication at work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We talked about how the key words there, just, and was a mistake, and that we have to have a broader view over our communication at work and over this just improve, and dig a little deeper, just to see exactly what it is that we need to reach our goals. Fernando was here.
I do remember everything.
Swelling wasn't. Who else? Were you here last week? Say hi to me, teachers. Hi, Luis.
Hi, Luis.
Welcome to class. Hit the like button for us here, Luis. And today we're going to go to part 2 of that, okay? Very often we think that learning something new is all about learning a language, learning a new skill is all about what we have to do. And before we get to what we have to do, very frequently we have to stop doing things that are wrong, that are actually getting in the way. And think about it. Your most precious asset is your time. So your time is limited. If you are investing your time incorrectly, or spending it, wasting it, or spending it on something that's not as good for you as it could be, then you are not doing other things that could help you. So it's as important to stop doing the wrong things as it is to start doing the right things. all right? And many times these two overlap, you know, you don't know like what's right, what's wrong. So we're gonna talk about that mistake tonight, right, MC? I'm gonna write that mistake here, and I'm gonna get the comment fixated here.
I was trying to understand what meant.
It's my sound effects. So,
A lot of
all
people are watching the class number 2 without watching the class number 1. Did you see the thumbs down? So
yeah,
yeah,
see,
but it's not a problem. People just stay with us. It's gonna be fine.
yes, yes, they're totally independent from each other. What I recommend is that you watch part one later, so you can get the two ideas, you know, that we brought this month. Of course, there are more ideas, but these two concepts are very common, and we don't want you to be thinking that you should be doing this, you know, when in fact there are other things to do. So all I need is to learn more. All right, and go and okay. Why is this? I mean, the key word here being all right, all I need, and more. Learning more. What do you understand when you think about learning more? Think about it. Okay, what do you think about? What do you think that concept is? MC, I'm gonna use you as my guinea pig. Okay, when you think about learning more, what do you associate that with?
I want to learn things that I didn't know before.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
So that means
basically, it's
improving, like going from
uh-huh.
here to here.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So you associate learning more with improving.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I love that we never brief these things because it's so spontaneous. Exactly. You know, what is in your head is probably what is in everyone's head too. Guys, people out there, do you associate learning more with improving a skill necessarily? Do you think that's a given? When I learn more, I necessarily improve my skills. Do you think these two are always connected? Yes or no? Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. I want to know if you are all, you know, if you all think the same. Okay, so see, Rezende thinks it is. Those two concepts are associated. Tabata also associates these two concepts. Ani does too. Well, okay, I suspected that. And what I want you all to do tonight is to try to dissociate these two concepts. Because when you think that learning more is going to get you to improve your skills, you probably also think that going back and reading, studying, getting in contact with something that you already know is a waste of time. Why should I go back if I can move forward? If learning more, getting more information is the way to go, is 100% associated, is a given, you know? It's like, there's no way this is not going to work. If I learn something new, it's going to work. So I'm going to tell you a little story, all right? Before I mean, to illustrate what I mean. Okay, so I took this picture. Oh, my ring light is in the way. Okay, this. I took this picture exactly 8 days ago. This is my succulent. I love plants. I have a lot of plants in my apartment. This was a succulent whose leaves were falling off. It was pretty weak. And then I was like, you know what? It's spring. Why don't I try to trim them and see if they will get stronger? And then this little piece of succulent leaf started coming out. And look what's happened 8 days later. Look, not only this one, see the other ones out there too, back there. So this is what happens when you go back. This is what happens when you take a step back. Thinking that you're cutting off, leaves of the succulent, you're trimming the succulent, I felt like, am I doing the right thing? Am I hurting it instead of helping it? So I was scared of doing that. But then when I did, a couple days later, the results came. So now it's stronger than it was before. That's what it needed. It didn't need to grow more. It needed a step back. It needed to breathe and go, you know what? Time out. Give me some time. Let me go back a little and get stronger, and enhance my abilities and improve my abilities, my whole body, my whole system in order to develop, in order to move on, get to the next step. All right. So this is just an analogy that I have for you to start our class, trying to explain to you that going back a step or two is many times the solution, not learning more, not accumulating more information. Okay. So moving forward can be a waste of time. More can be the enemy of beyond. Okay, this is a sentence that I want you to remember. More can be the enemy of beyond. You don't want more English. Yeah, keep that down. You want your English to go beyond, all right? You're here. That's what you did, MC. Oh, if I'm here, I want to get there, right? You said that. So this is going beyond when you go more. It's the enemy of beyond. Now, question for you. Do you feel that at some point in your life, you and everybody, okay, in the audience there? Okay, we have a guest here coming. Hello. He couldn't help himself. So, do you feel that at some point in your life, you studied English for nothing? Leave it in the comments. Do you feel that at some point in your life,
Yes.
you had classes, you studied a course, you were investing your time for nothing? You were theoretically learning new things. There was information.
I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's something that happens to a lot of people. I want to know if you guys have also, if all of you here watching also have the same, feeling. If you have had that experience, But at the same time, I hear that a lot, oh, I have studied. I felt that many times these past experiences in my life didn't help much. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. But then if I tell you at the same time, if I tell you, look, you need to go back and study what you already know. What you already know, okay? Quotation marks. Would you? Probably not.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive. It seems like,
Yeah.
it seems odd.
It's like, why am I going to study something that I already know? Because what you already know, when we think about a class, at the end of a class, MC, if you understood everything the teacher explained, and I ask you, did you learn what the teacher taught you? What are you going to say?
Yes.
Yeah, right. There is no specific moment where you're like, okay, I understand what the teacher explained and I know how to use this. Usually we just say, I learned it. I know it. But do you really know it? When you understand a verb tense like present perfect class, maybe you really got it. You're like, oh, I get it. I know, what it means. But then can you really use it the next day, in any opportunity that you get? Probably not. You will need time to process all that information. You will need to make mistakes using that. You will need to have questions about it, Not having questions many times is an issue. Like, oh, I have no problems whatsoever. Just a pause here. Ako, I love your classes. Thanks so much. Oh, we love you. Thank you. Okay, so let's try to think about that, okay? What do you know and what you understand, what you learned and you have an understanding of versus what you master, what is easy to use, what comes naturally when you're speaking, what comes naturally when you're writing. These are very different things, the passive and the active, which is usually the biggest problem for you guys, who speak English, understand my classes, understand MC speaking, understand when I'm speaking, watch videos, but struggle to get out of that okay English, Okay, so understanding something doesn't mean you know it, you master that. And think about English as a skill that you need to master, like an instrument, like a skill, like a sports skill, for instance. So after a class, you understand concepts, but making those concepts into active language, into accurate language, right? Hashtag accurate. Becoming the master of that topic is another story, okay? So think about this. A pianist repeats the same song, the same notes over and over. When, in music and in sports, that's such a natural thing to do. If, in your CrossFit practice, MC, I'm
Hmm.
not sure if CrossFit is that, you don't go back to the same movement that often, but eventually you do, right?
We do, and we need to always improve our foundation because otherwise the chances of you getting hurt is high
Right. So
or
in
are high.
sports,
Hmm.
and in music, that's very easy for everybody to understand. Like, I have to practice the same song over and over many times because every time I do, I may make a mistake in different places of the song. I need to rehearse more, right? But then when it comes to language, we think it's all about watching the class one day and never going back to that. And then maybe in 6 months, in a year, you decide to dig deeper and learn more, go like, I want to change my English. And then a teacher comes to you and says, you know what, you were making a basic mistake, you got to study simple present again. It's not that you don't understand simple present. You know what it is. You can use it in the right situations. But maybe you are not asking questions properly. You are asking questions like you do in Portuguese. So refreshing your memory, going back to simple present is what you need to have a more accurate English, to have an English at a meeting where you don't ask your boss or you ask somebody, you need help? The team need help or needs help? Just changing the intonation, and then everybody's like, is she telling me the team needs help, or is she asking me that the team, if the team needs, I don't get it. Like, no, you have to use do and does. That's just one example, okay?
Yes.
But it's a very probably something you see a lot happening. Questions in the present. People don't use do and does properly.
Oh, the other day I had a question and I didn't know how to answer right away because it was like possessive case. How is that again? And then I was like, oh my God, I remember the class. I remember your explanation. But at the same time, I'm like, well, forget it. I need to go back to the class and watch it again because I
Yeah.
forgot it. And that's okay. We need to go back and practice our foundation oftentimes. And we need to understand that that's part of improving as well.
Yeah,
Going back is part of improving
exactly.
because otherwise you just don't built in knowledge, like brand new information on top of brand new information. You need to
Mm-hmm.
refresh your memory about foundation and that's okay. It feels like, oh my God, I should have known this already. This is so old news. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's hard to keep
Yeah.
in your memory everything you need to know. And especially if you don't use that specific, I don't know, subject or something like, if you don't use those idiomatic expressions or something that often, it's it's natural that you're gonna forget.
Yeah. And you might be thinking, oh, but then do I have to study things forever? Do I have to go back to things forever? No, you don't. When something is not that strong and you just saw it once, chances are you will forget. But if you do it the right way, you get exposed to a new topic, and then right after that, a little time later, you strengthen the brain connections, the cells that learn that new information, they get another push, another input of that information. They are stronger the 2 days later. And then a couple days later, once again, great. Now the chance of losing that is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, you know? And then if you do have to review, it's just like 3 seconds. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. You don't have to spend hours studying that. just like glancing at the notes or quickly going to, like searching for the information quickly, and then you remember the rule, you remember how to use it. Doesn't
Second
take long.
nature. Oh,
Exactly. But it has to be the right way. Don't
yeah.
think that just you have to learn more and study more and get more grammar, and that's not how things go. You have to master things. And then every now and then you have to, what I'm saying is, if you have a gap, and each of you will have a gap at a different place. One will have trouble with past participle. I never memorize the verb. I don't remember the verbs well. Maybe you have to go back. Maybe you have an intermediate English. Maybe you have a more than okay English, but you still can't master the past participle. You need to go back there. You don't need to learn a zillion phrasal verbs that you don't know yet if you are still struggling with something that is structural, something that is fundamental for your everyday communication at work, something that you will need so much all the time, and many times what is basic, not because it's easier. Do and does, come on, it's hard, when you're learning it for the first time. Learning a verb that doesn't actually have a meaning for us Brazilians is not easy. Do, does. But why is it one of the first things that we learn? Because we need it more. We need simple present every single day of your life. In any country, in Portuguese or in English. If you're living in Brazil, you're going to use present a lot. If you live abroad, speak English, you will use present a lot. So it's about like, what do I use the most? Simple present, simple future, simple past, for example. So going back there, don't think it's something less. Don't think it's something inferior. It's not. It's actually an investment of your time in verb tenses, structures, vocabulary that you will use more. So if you're making mistakes, you will make more mistakes. And if you improve, you're going to improve and, get to a really cool place after you improve that. So we have to break that. Okay, guys, I want everybody to dissociate two things. One, when I learn more, my English or whatever I'm doing, right? I'm trying to learn gets better. That's not always the case. Sometimes you have to go back in order to improve. You have to go back a step in order to improve. And the other thing was, what did I say? There was another one thing that I lost track of thought. I forgot what it was, but I'll remember.
It's okay.
To the end of the class. And we associate going back and repeating what we already know. I already know how to kick. Why should I practice kicking? I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. I know how to kick. Why should I practice kicking? Well, I'm not the one to respond that. Ask Cristiano Ronaldo and how many hours he practices every single day of his life to keep his ability sharp. So
and
just because you know doesn't mean
if it's necessary to practice kicking, you're not Cristiano Ronaldo, you're someone else willing to be Cristiano Ronaldo because he's spending his time practicing, training, and eating right and everything. He's like the god of discipline somehow.
Yeah, and he listens to his coach. So listen, whoever you pick, whoever you choose to be your teacher, your coach, on this journey, listen to them. Listen. They want the best for you, they want results for you. I want results for my students. So I'm always thinking about what they should do to get the result, the transformation that they're looking for. Not just English in general, the goal that they have, the specific goal. So, whatever I tell them to do is thinking about that, considering that you don't have all the time in the world. I know that. Considering that your time is limited, considering that you have already experienced a lot of English classes, English courses, private classes, online courses, face-to-face courses. I know all that. I know that you're not starting today, that you have your baggage and your frustrations. So all that put together leads us, to sometimes not feeling like going back. The other thing I remembered is to disconnect I know from I mastered. I learned, I understand, but have I mastered? Do I have complete control over this structure or this vocabulary. Okay, just separating these two just to make it easier. But I mean, of my communication in general. Okay, so basically, that's what I wanted to tell you about learning more. All I need is to learn more. Be careful. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes going back is actually moving forward. And we have to break some cycles, some concepts that are very, glued into our brains because of the way that we were taught, the way that we learned things at school. Oh, I am moving forward. I have to move forward. I have to pass tests and move forward.
Oh,
But
can I share my story? It's gonna
yeah.
be like not an eye opener because I guess not a lot of people do what I do. But anyway, what I did. I used to attend a traditional English school back in the days when I was younger, and it was basically completing like every year, like a book after book or something like that. And then I went to my first exchange program. So I went to United States, and after I came back, I knew that my English was already much better, but at the same time, not enough for me to pursue my future goals, which were professional goals. And I decided to continue the same path that they had in the school. And the next level was basically like a proficiency level. It was like learning literature in English, like that very hardcore formal English from, I don't know, I, who needs to learn that kind of stuff? If maybe if you want to be a teacher, like an English teacher in school, like for kids in school, you would need that. But for me, it was not the goal, and I spent money and time learning something that I never had to put in practice. Never, ever. So it was a big waste of time, big waste of money. And so you need to focus. We don't have a lot of time to waste. We need to focus learning things that you are actually going to put in practice. And it's not just a matter of adding knowledge. Whatever knowledge it is, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
add value. Mm-mm. You
Yeah.
can add more and not necessarily add value as well. So it's not even about going. I would spend I would spend better my money if I had gone back and learned back, reinforced my foundation, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It would be money
Now you
better
realize
spent.
that
Yeah, like 10 years,
going back.
yeah, 15
Mm-hmm.
years later, I realized that. But anyway, you can
Yeah.
learn from my mistakes. You don't need to make the same mistakes.
Yes. And next time that you come across an exercise, a topic, a class, a suggestion from a teacher going like telling you to go back and study something again and, review, just think about, this. Think about, let's give it a chance. Let's see what I can do. Let's see, surprise me. Maybe it's not going to be that easy, and maybe I do have things to learn and relearn and reinforce and master, really. Learning, knowing doesn't mean mastering. And next time you say, I understand a lot of English, but I don't use everything that I know, remember this. Maybe you need to take a step back. Ka said, yes, because school wants to keep the students there for a long time. Yeah, depending on the school, that could be true, Ka.
And they're focused
Um,
on like a big range of students that not
yeah,
necessarily know where they want to go next. So they need to be generic. I don't know.
yeah.
But it was not what I needed, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I can talk about my experience regarding English for doctors in another episode. Cheers. Oh, we would love to hear you talk about your experience.
You can even
Um,
come live with us.
yes, you can. I would love to have you as our guest. Okay, thank you, Kezia. Also, let me see any more comments.
The
Nope.
posts are not updating. It's not updated here for me. I don't know. The last one that I see is from Zwelling saying
No?
that she joined. It's a long time ago.
Okay, all right. But anyway, 9:37. I'm gonna be the timekeeper tonight.
Whoa, for a
I
change.
Yeah, for a change, because I'm usually not that person. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining, participating, and leaving your comments here as well. This was a more talkative class, but you guys know we like to change every now and then, have something more interactive, have a game, have a grammar or vocabulary class, but also these classes that help you study better. You know, the amount of time that you spend with your teacher is probably the same amount of time that you should be spending by yourself studying, doing other things, right? Getting input, practice, and feedback on your own outside the classroom. So it's so important that you improve this as well. As a student, you know the right track, the right path to follow, all right? So thank you, Kakaka. Thank you, Kazita, for joining, Paulo, everybody who joined. See you all next week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Brazil time, sharp. And we will be back with one more live lesson. If you want to leave your suggestion too, a request, we are open for that, always open for your suggestions as well, right, partner?
Yes. Thank you for staying here with us. Thank you for investing the time in yourself. And I'll see you again next week, same time, 8 p.m. for Eastern Time.
Hit the like button here before you leave. It helps us a lot, all right? Thank you, Layla, for all the hearts. Bye-bye, partner. Bye, Fernando. Bye,
Bye-bye. See
everybody.
you next time.
See ya.